Hi there, I'm Tatiana Mejia. Traveling and eating, those are my happy places. I'm a pioneer in gastronomic tourism in South America, and I'm so excited to welcome you to Bites and Sigths. Here, we dive into the world of gastronomic tourism, a unique way to explore the world through its flavors, traditions, and local communities. Today, I want to talk about something I consider essential for any traveler looking to go beyond the usual, beyond just being a tourist. Traveling with taste, traveling with all five senses. Have you ever felt like just visiting a place isn't enough to truly know it? That's where gastronomic tourism comes in. It lets you connect with every destination in a whole new way. Through our senses, especially taste, smell, and touch. Picture this. You arrive in a small community, sit down at a table with the locals, and taste a dish that has been passed down for generations. In that moment, you're not just experiencing a unique flavor. You're taking in history, culture, and even a new way of seeing life. All in a single bite, a single sip. In this episode, we'll explore how local gastronomy creates deep, meaningful connections with the places we visit. We'll learn how tasting the world allows us to see it through the different eyes and different senses. We'll discover how value is to travel with taste, connecting each unique experience with the destination soul. So, if you're the kind of traveler who wants to feel and live every place you visit, you're in the right spot. Let's kick off this sensory adventure. Continuing with today's topic, let's talk about why gastronomic tourism is such a powerful way to truly connect with the places we visit. When we think about traveling, most of us picture visiting landmarks, admiring landscapes, and snapping photos, right? I used to be the same, I have to admit. But what if I told you there's a way to experience a destination that goes way beyond just seeing it? Something totally multisensory? A way to activate all your five senses. Every trip can become a much deeper and richer experience through gastronomy. It's not just about the food itself. It's about the story behind each ingredient, the techniques that have been passed down for generations, and the atmosphere surrounding every dish. Picture yourself enjoying a meal made with an ingredient that has been cultivated in the land for centuries. In that moment, the place stops being just another destination. It becomes a part of you. Actually, a lot of travelers only scratch the surface when they visit a new place, sticking to the usual sightseeing and activities, right? But when you travel through food, you experience a destination in its full dimension. A country's cuisine is its identity. Think about Peru with its incredible superfoods, or Colombia, where coffee connects families and entire communities. Chile with its world-class wines and seafood, and Argentina, where an asado isn't just a meal, it's a ritual, a moment of gathering and tradition. Gastronomic tourism isn't just another travel activity. It's a way to connect with locals, to understand their daily lives, their values, and their history. It goes beyond taste. It involves all our senses, the aromas, the textures, the colors, the local ingredients, even the sounds, like the buzz of a bustling market or the sizzle of the food cooking in a kitchen. It allows us to live a destination in the most immersive way possible. So, why is this approach so important? Because when we travel with awareness, we can better understand and respect a place's culture. When we experience it from the inside, through its food, we build a deeper connection. And beyond that, by eating local and engaging with farmers, cooks, and artisans, we contribute to the sustainable development of those communities. We become part of a cycle where tourism has a positive impact, helping preserve traditions and support the local economy. Now, more than ever, travelers are looking for experiences that truly transform them. And there's nothing more powerful than sitting at a table with someone from a different culture and learning about their world, one bite at a time. So if you're ready to take your travels to the next level, welcome to this episode. Let's dive into how gastronomic tourism can give us a richer, more meaningful way to experience the places we visit. Today, I invite you to pause for a moment and reflect on what it really means to connect with a destination in a different way. Connecting with a place isn't just about visiting it, taking photos, or checking it off for your bucket list. It's about immersing yourself in its rhythms, understanding its stories, and most importantly, experience its flavors, because food is a living expression of culture. This is where gastronomic tourism comes into play, a way of exploring destinations in a multisensory way, engaging all five senses. From the very first moment I started traveling like this, I realized how it allowed us to truly connect and create unforgettable memories. Imagine instead of just seeing or hearing about a place, you experience it through your senses, your taste, you taste the ingredients that define the region, smell the spices used by its cooks, feel the textures of traditional dishes, and even listen to the stories behind each recipe. Because behind every bite, behind every sip, there's a story waiting to be told. This approach invites us to open ourselves up to a full, authentic experience where every sense plays a key role in helping us truly understand the place. I have so many stories to share, but I'll take it step by step and tell you what's been like to live gastronomic tourism in everyday life. Are you ready? Let's go. Today, I want to share two personal experiences to show you the huge difference between traveling with all five senses and doing it in a conventional way. More than a decade ago, I had an unforgettable experience in the Colombian Amazon. I was staying with an indigenous community and they invited me to take part in something truly special, an immersion into their food traditions, starting from the chagra. I think you're thinking, what is chagra? Okay, a chagra is a vegetable garden deep in the jungle, and my experience includes everything from harvesting food to preparing and eating it. We all set out together, the grandmother, her children, her grandchildren, and me, walking into the jungle. At one point, the grandmother pulled out her machete to cut a pineapple. Her daughter started gathering yuca brava. Yuca brava is cassava and it's not mad. It has a poison. And the kids dug into the soil until they found dale dale. Wow, dale dale, it's like very tiny potatoes. I decided to help collect the yuca brava, which we could later use to prepare cassave. It's a flatbread. We ate fresh juice pineapple for energy boost before gathering aguaje for use, ants for a special broth, and fish for our main dish. Once we had everything from the chagra, we made our way back to the grandmother's house, where I was welcomed like family. Oh, it was amazing, really. We removed the poison from the yuca brava, made ají, a little bit of spice, prepared the casabe, and cooked the caldo de hormiga and the fish over the fire. We peeled the dale dale, and I enjoyed my favorite Amazonian juice since that moment, aguaje. When everything was ready, we sat on the floor, gathered around the food, eating with our hands and sharing stories about the traditions behind each ingredient. We'd also talk about how younger indigenous generations see these foods today. It's so sad. Even though the conversation made me a little bit sad, I truly enjoy connecting with places through their gastronomy. Let me tell you another story. I remember my first encounter with oysters, charqui, pisco, and the clearest sky in the world. It was on a trip to La Serena and the Elqui Valley. It was in Chile. The journey started in Santiago with an international flight, but I chose to travel by land to first connect with the coastal flavors, especially oysters, and the unique seafood that the Chilean Pacific has, like picoroco or the locos. To be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of oysters, but I loved the caletos experience. When I arrived in La Serena, I was greeted by an arid landscape and deep blue waters that contrast beautifully with the clear sunny sky. Perfect conditions for solar cooking. Alongside local chefs, I cook traditional Chilean dishes using these techniques. I still remember the pastel de jaiba and pastel de choclo like it was yesterday. They are amazing. They are very comfort dishes. But what really blew my mind, it was pisco. It was my first time experiencing it and learning about its versatility, versatility in both cocktails and cooking. Actually, I remember I tasted matchas a la parmesana, flame with pisco. Absolute perfection. With every sip, I learned about the culture, traditions, and the stories behind each piscola, each pisco sour, and each barrel-aged pisco. One of my personal favorites. Yes, that's right. Some varieties of pisco are aged in barrels, taking on notes similar to whiskey, brandy, or cognac. I spent time with winemakers and distillers who specialize in pisco. I learned from people who grow the grapes and oversee the entire process. I also spent time with people from Capel and learned the story behind the brand and their iconic moai-shaped bottle, which has revealed and traveled the world. It's such an amazing story. And are you thinking about the pairings? Unforgettable. One of my favorites was charqui, a dried llama meat, similar to Colombia's carne oreada or beef jerky. I grew up with those flavors, as my parents were from Santander, where in Colombia we eat carne oreada. So it instantly felt familiar and comforting. I could go on for hours telling stories about South America and beyond, but let's do something different. Now follow my voice. Close your eyes. Well, I clarify. Only close them if you're not driving or doing something that requires your attention. I wanted to take you back to the emotion, the feeling, and the experience I had in the Elqui Valley, Chile's ultimate pisco region. Are you ready? Okay. There, under the clearest sky in the world, I had an unforgettable experience. I want to help you connect two key elements, one of Chile's signature drink and one of its most stunning natural wonders in the Elqui Valley, Night fell, and it was truly the start of the show. Literally. I was picked up from my hotel in La Serena and taken to the Elqui Valley, where we visit an observatory. When we arrived, there were no artificial lights, only the glow of the stars. Oh, can you imagine this place? Take a moment and focus on what's right now in your front, they told me. In front of me were the Capel specialists ready to guide us through an outdoor cocktail experience. We prepared pisco sour. I remember that. Piscolas and cocktails with local fruits. While we were mixing the ingredients, the astronomy specialists invited us to look at the sky. I must admit that I was speechless. Seeing that starry sky was majestic. Imagine it for a moment. A sky so clear that it looks like an infinity canvas of lights. While we sipped pisco and learned about the stars, we laughed so much and enjoyed an unforgettable moment. Chilean guys are so funny. It was such a powerful experience that I wanted to repeat it. And actually, last year I went back to this region, but not the same one. I spent in San Pedro de Atacama, another place I really recommend to visit in Chile to admire its unique sky. Now, I ask you, why it is so important to get to know destinations through their gastronomy? Because the place stays with us in much deeper way, I assure you. We take with us not only a visual memory, but a sensory memory that take us a unique sauce, the smell of a market, the sound of a recipe being prepared. Connecting through food makes the journey comes alive inside us. Oh, my God. By the way, you can open your eyes now. I forgot to tell you. Sorry about that. I want to invite you to explore how this way of connecting with destinations go beyond the artificial, the superficial, and transform our concept of travel. I'll share you tips, fun facts, and anecdotes that will help you make every trip a multisensory experience. Tip number 1. Explore local markets. If you really want to uncover the secrets of a place, start at its markets. That's where you can see and feel the freshness of the ingredients, discover fruits, vegetables, and spices you probably won't find anywhere else. Markets are like a window into everyday life. They let you watch how people interact, the little rituals behind every purchase, and the rhythm of a daily life. In this episode, I want to invite you, once again, to connect with local markets, because that's where the magic happens. It's where the true essence of a destination begins. Take Peru, for example. I still remember the first time I came across lenguado, the fish most commonly used for making, you guess what? Yeah, maybe. Okay, I'll let you know. Ceviche. Yep, you heard that right. Ceviche. One of Peru's most iconic dishes. And, well, how could I forget lucuma on that trip? I fell in love. It was love at first sight with that flavor from the very wow. I can truly enjoy having a lucuma yogurt from the brand Gloria. You can also find lucuma in Chile. Well, but every destination has its own way of using it. It's such a versatile flavor. You can enjoy it in juices, desserts, and even yogurt, as I told you. I actually have a few favorite lucuma recipes, so if you're curious, let me know. I'd be happy to share them with you. I love, I really, I really love visiting markets where I go. In Colombia, Chile, Argentina, Peru, Mexico, the US, Spain, every single one is a unique experience. Mexican markets, for example, they are, for instance, are absolutely fascinating. The smell of freshly made tortillas, whoa. The crunch of chapulines, the boldness of scorpions, the endless variety of chili peppers, the rich complexity of mole. Oh, wow. The flavor of elote and of chamoy. And, well, of course, mangonadas or chamoyadas. If you love mango, you're in the right place. And if you like a little bit of spice, even better. Picoso. It's the way it has been said in Spanish. I have so many amazing memories from exploring markets. They are truly one of the best ways to experience a destination. Tip number 2, join a local cooking experience. One of the best ways to connect with a destination is by taking a cooking class while you're there. It's an opportunity to learn how to make traditional dishes look using local ingredients and techniques. And the best part, you get to take a little piece of that place with you. Something you can recreate at home to relive those special moments. Flavors have a way of connecting us to emotions, bringing back memories, and even transporting us through time. Like Back to the Future. Do you remember that movie? I love it. That's why I want to recommend a book you have to check out. Cocina Palenquera para el Mundo. Palenque Cuisine for the World. This book was created by the Transformemos Foundation in collaboration with the Palenqueras community to preserve the recipes of traditional cooks who were part in their educational programs. Every dish in it reflects the character and traditions of its region. It's a powerful reminder that cooking isn't just about following a recipe, it's about honoring a cultural heritage that connects generations. And Palenque cuisine is Africa alive. Tip number 3, don't be afraid to try street food. Street food is another incredible way to experience local culture. These are dishes made to be enjoyed right then and there, infused with the energy of the city or town around you. The authenticity of these flavors is something you just can't replicate in a high-end restaurant. Let me share 2 quick stories. Wow. I know I should keep my stories short, but I want you to really feel what it's like to experience a destination through its food. The first story is about the best meal I ever I said meal and it is meat I ever had in Argentina. I tasted in a tiny roadside spot on my way to Iguazu Falls. They served us matambre, which in Colombia is known as sobrebarriga. It came to the table with a bottle of red wine. And let me tell you, 15 years have passed and I still think about that flavor. I never have found a matambre as good as that one. Then there are the tacos de barrio in Tijuana, Mexico. That place was fast. The employees had to work with incredible speed and precision. And whoa, they nailed it. The tacos al pastor, the guacamole, the freshly made tortillas, perfection. In just seconds, my taco was ready and on the table. And delicious, let me tell you. Well, the best tacos I have ever tasted. And they were very cheap, that too. But the street food is about more than just great flavors. It's also deeply symbolic. In Mexico, for example, corn isn't just an ingredient, it's a symbol of life itself and a sacred food in many indigenous cultures. The same goes for cacao, the chocolate we all love so much. That too has been a sacred ingredient for indigenous people for centuries. This kind of symbolism adds a whole new layer of meaning to the act of eating, something you just don't get in every context. Tip number 4, connect with people through food. There's no better way to truly understand a place than by sharing a meal with its people. Don't be afraid to ask questions and take a genuine interest in their stories. Food has this incredible way of bringing people together, breaking down culture barriers, and believe me or not, taking us back in time. It's like a real lifetime machine. That is why I remember Back to the Future. Well, music, for example, is deeply connected to food. Did you know that in Colombia, the legendary Rafael Escalona wrote several songs inspired by local gastronomy? Yep, you heard that right. I invite you to listen La Patillera. Go look it up. And while you're at it, why not explore more of the vallenato mysteries? In Colombia, you'll find plenty of songs that beautifully reflect the flavors of Caribbean cuisine. And if you ever find yourself in Valledupar, Colombia, make sure to visit the Accordion Museum. It's an experience it's an experience you won't want to miss. Tip number 5. Keep an open mind and be a conscious traveler. I think it's the most important thing of all. At the end of the day, having an open mind is key. Not every flavor or dish will be familiar, but that's the magic of gastronomic tourism. It's all about stepping out of your comfort zone and experience flavors that, even if unexpected, are a pure expression of culture. Back when I was teaching cooking to teenagers, I used to tell them, you might discover a flavor you absolutely love, or one you never want to try again, but always let your taste buds decide. I remember one day when I introduced them to the lentil dessert. Yes, you heard that right. Lentil. I think you have tasted that in a very comfort soup, but not in a dessert. Well, in Palenque, in Colombia, it's very common. And I actually at first sight I didn't like it, but then I really loved that. When I made it with the students, some of them didn't even want to taste it, but the ones who did were shocked. It was really good. Some loved it, others didn't. But the important thing was that they tried it. In the Colombian Pacific, more specifically on the island near Tumaco, I remember another thing. Well, there lives darculambay. That flavor is incredible, but at first glance, you really don't know if you should take a bite or just pretend you're too full to eat. I remember when I convinced a fellow traveler to try it. The moment he saw it, he immediately went, no, 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 I'm not eating that. I laughed and I said, well, come on, just try it. If you don't like it, no worries. I'll eat it for you. Thank goodness he listened to me. The problem? Well, he loved it so much that he wouldn't share a single bite. When we talk about connecting with destinations, it's a different way. We're talking about experiencing a place with all our senses. It's not just about tasting food. It's about understanding that every dish tells a story, has an origin, and serves a purpose. This way of traveling lets us see each destination with fresh eyes, leaving us with deep, meaningful memories. Not just moments we remember, but experience that truly stays with us. It's such a wonderful way. Today we have explored how food tourism let us connect with destinations in a unique and meaningful way, turning every trip into a multi-sensory experience. From wandering through local markets to sharing a meal with locals, we have seen that food is so much more than just nourishing. It's a gateway into the culture, traditions, and soul of every place we visit. As we wrap up this episode, I hope you feel inspired to explore the world not just with your eyes, but with your heart and all your senses. So, on your next trip, remember, don't just visit, savor it. Connect with each destination, experience it fully, from the plate to the heart. I have put together a little poll for you on Spotify, and I love to know, how do you like to connect with places when you travel? Oh, and before you go, I know I mentioned a lot of flavors today that you may not be familiar with. If you want to learn more about any of them, send me a message. I'd be happy to share more details. In this episode, let you feeling inspired, don't forget to subscribe so we can keep exploring the world through flavors together. And I love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a comment or share it with someone who loves travel and authentic experience as much as you do. Want to keep the conversation going? Follow me on Instagram, @TM. That's where we share photos, recipes, and experiences that bring together a community of travelers who experience the world with all their senses. And if you're curious to dive even deeper into the magic of tasting your way through travel, check out my website, www.astuviaje.com. Did you enjoy this episode? If so, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next ones. And if you think this content could inspire other travelers or food lovers, go ahead, share it, and leave a comment. It's an awesome way to help more people discover this meaningful way of traveling. That's a wrap for today. Remember, every trip and every bite is an opportunity to connect more deeply with the world around us. So wherever you are, keep exploring, keep tasting, and keep discovering. Because at the end of the day, the best way to truly know a place is to eat it by sips and bites. I'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, keep traveling with an open taste buds and open heart. See you next time. Be well.